Welcome back. I'm Tristan, your host, and let's talk about the recession. Let's talk about these four things when it comes to the recession. Number one, let's define what the recession means or what a recession means. Let's talk about the last few recessions we've had in the United States. Let's take a look at interest rates and mortgage applications because that's important. And then finally, let's take a look at the inventory and see where it's at because real estate is confusing for a lot of you. So let's talk about it. And I want to start off by talking about what's been on the news. I mean, who missed this, right? Let's take a look at what the stock market is doing. It looks like it just keeps on going down daily. Here's the latest retail leaders. Walmart and Target, which have dragged down Wall Street this week due to disappointing outlooks, got hit again today, and the news continues to be bad. I actually waited until a few minutes ago to get all the data. But Kohl's went up a little bit. That was a surprise. Anyway, I wanted to show you the quick graph here as to what the stock market has been doing over the last 3 months. You see here as of April, it started just dropping slowly. And which heads me into what is a recession. And I mean, Investopedia is probably my best friend. I go here almost daily. Let's take a look at what a recession is. A recession is a macroeconomic term that refers to a significant decline in general economic activity in a designated region. It had typically recognizes 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline as reflected by the GDP. Yeah, that's what we all normally would say it was, in conjunction with monthly indicators such as rise in unemployment as well. So, however, the National Bureau of Economic Research, and I'll put a link to them too because I was diving into them as well. But NBER, which officially declares recessions, the problem is when they officially declare a recession, it's usually like a month after. So we could be in one right now. We don't know. It certainly kind of looks like one. Our unemployment, though, is on the lower side, but the numbers won't be out until what? End of June, beginning of July. So that's for you right there. Now let's take a look at something else I've got here for you. This was put together by our friends over at Keeping Current Matters. I love Keeping Current Matters. They make my life easier because they do all the data and they put it together in these little sexy graphics. So this one is by CoreLogic, the source, CoreLogic and The Balance. And CoreLogic is a big data company for real estate. Recession doesn't equal a housing crisis. I love this one. And look, I even went to Wiki and I'm like, hey, let's take a look at the last recessions here. And I took a look at these, so I compared them to this. And I'm like, oh, this is good data. I love this. Home price change during last 6 recessions. If you get anything from this session with me right now, I'm going to stop sharing really quick. If you get anything from this session, it's that graphic. Grab that graphic because we're going to dive into this a little bit. Recession doesn't equal housing. Now, you take a look at the 80s. Home prices went up. You take a look at 1980, 1981. 1991, it dropped 1.9%. And most of these recessions, they last about a year or slightly less. I took a look at them on Wiki, and I'll put up the link on my YouTube video. By the way, subscribe. I'll put it on there so you can have all of these together. Now, looking at what happened in 2001 when we had a recession, 6.6. Now, 2008, let me stop right there because that's like almost a 20% dip. We all know what happened in 2008. All the fundamentals of just the stock market and the housing market were all just screwed up, right? You look at where we're at now, it's nothing like that on the housing side, right? On the housing side, I can't tell you the same for the stock market. But look right there. That's what happened to real estate 2008. Nothing like that even looks like it's going to happen. Let's go into some data. 2020, during the pandemic, you saw that housing went up and then it skyrocketed. Obviously, we saw that happen as well. Here's a list of all of the recessions. I'm going to throw it in here on YouTube. And I want to show you now mortgage applications because where we're at, I'm going to zoom into this so I can show you. Where we're at right now, 5.25, that's our mortgage rate. I want to show you something because it's a leading indicator as to where we're heading in real estate. And I don't know that a lot of us use this. Here it is, purchase versus refinance index. We don't really need the refinance. We just need the purchase one. And you can see purchases, right? They went up, and then all of a sudden, it's like our interest rate spiked. Remember that? And then all of a sudden, it started going down. It's like, whoa, wait a second. A lot less people, and then we're right about there. So I'm going to put that on here too, so you understand that as interest rates typically go up, that's one thing that's tied to obviously how much people can afford. The other one is the labor market. So if people have jobs and they have good wages, they can buy homes. So those are the two things you're looking for. The other thing is pending home sales, because now you're looking at pending home sales. This is also a leading indicator. And we go into where we're at. Let me zoom in for you on this one. We're down 1.2% in March from February. And you can take a look at this amazing graph that National Association of Realtors gives you. So you can indicate what areas you're looking the biggest drop in. I'm in the West, right? Some people say the West is better than the East. I have no opinion. I love both sides. Anyway, Midwest, 6.1 drop. Northeast, which we saw Boston too earlier in one of my videos, 4%. Very little in the South and very little in the West overall. And look, I have one more thing to show you because that's going to really determine where we're at. Right now, all of this data shows you like, whoa, we might be heading to a housing crash. Something terrible may happen. But the biggest indicator of everything are two things. Remember this, and I keep on coming back to this almost every video. It's affordability, number one, right? And the other one is inventory. And when we look at inventory, which is what I'm about to show you, and this really makes everything clear. This is our housing inventory, right? And I'll put it up here if you haven't taken a look at Fred before. I love Fred. Let me zoom out of here, zoom in on this one. All right, this is Fred. You can go here, January 2017. You can see we had 1,200,000 homes for sale, go up, go down, go up, go down. And then all of a sudden, we started dipping dramatically. And this is where we're at right now. I mean, you can go to the top over here. It tells you, as of the end of April 2022, and they updated it May 10th, 409,000 homes for sale. That is so far down from anything we've seen. That means we have a 2-month supply of homes. Average is 6 months. So what we're starting to see slowly, and I don't know when this happens over the next 6 months, 8 months, probably closer to fall, we're going to start to see the market, the real estate market, not crash, but kind of ease into more normal. And I don't know what that looks like because regionally, I mean, look at Miami. It is extremely hot. People are still moving in and driving prices up. Phoenix too. But then you have to take a look. Something's got to give at some point. So prices may start easing out. And I want you to pay attention to the data. And I want you to pay attention to the leading indicators because that's important. This is why I put everything I do research on into the links on YouTube. So if you have any questions, look, if you have any opinions, please throw them my way. I'm an expert in the housing market, not so much with stocks. So if you have anything you want to add or something that you see differently than me, I would love for you to put it into the comments, throw it in here, and do me a favor, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, go out there because that's where I have all of the links to everything that I have here, and I'll keep on coming back to you. I'm also talking about the peak tomorrow, where we're at. Is it now? Is it soon? Tune in. I'll see you tomorrow. And by the way, thanks to Jeff Fitzer, who got me this awesome shirt, which I love. I wore it all day for you, Jeff. Have an awesome day, everybody.